If a portico is split and tuma is on one side, utensils on the other side remain tahor. If a person places his foot on a reed on top of the split, he or it combines the tuma. If a person places a reed on the ground, it does not cause tuma to spread unless it is a handbreadth above ground. A thick garment and a thick beam only spread tuma when they are a handbreadth above the ground. If two garments are folded one on top of the other, tuma only spreads when the upper one is at least a handbreadth above the ground. If the person is lying on the threshold while corpse bearers pass over him, Beis Shammai says he does not spread tuma, whereas Reb Hill says he does spread tuma. Okay, that's it.
Yeah. What you got the bit about he was looking out the window? Sorry, did you haven't done Dalit, have you?
I
Did you do Dalit?
I thought I did that. All right, I'm on Hey. So hey,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, fine. Yeah, sorry. Okay, okay, so here's a guy who's lying on through his doorway, right? His body is extending through his doorway. And the people with the funeral procession walk over him. Okay, so obviously he himself is going to become Tameh because he's in the he's in the vertical line of the mace. But does he convey tuma into the house as an ohel himself? So Beis Shammai Omrim maybe it's tuma, consistent to their opinion. He's like a block of wood. Okay, it's not going to transmit any tuma. Beis Hillel Omrim maybe it's a tuma. No, because his upper body is a tefach, and we view him as if he's hollow. And so therefore he cannot screen the tuma, but he can spread the tuma, and the tuma spreads through his body into the house. Okay. Similarly, Mishna Vav hatuma b'bayis ehelu alav tehorin. Okay, so if tuma is inside the house and he's lying through the doorway, and a tahor person steps over him, Beis Shammai mitarin or Beis Hillel mitamin. So once again, he conveys the tuma to the outside according to Beis Hillel, and he cannot screen it, so therefore his airspace is also tameh. Okay. Now, kelev she'achal basar meis. So if a dog eats a kazayas from a dead body, and then the dog dies. Now, if the dog was still alive, we've seen this before, that living animals forms a complete seal around whatever is inside it. It doesn't become tameh. We saw this before with a chicken that ate something, and then only when it went into the oven and died, and then there's a question about it. Okay. Kelev she'achal basar hameis. Umeisa kelev. Umutal ala iskupa. Now the dog is lying through the doorway. Okay. So first of all, once the dog is dead, it cannot screen against the tumah anymore. Okay. So the tumah is definitely going to at least break through the dog up and down. But now, does the dog also form an ohel to spread the tumah into the house, is the question that we have over here. Okay. Rabbi Meir Omer im yesh b'tzavar posach tefach. So yeah, says Rabbi Meir, if its neck is a tefach wide, okay, and you get breeds of dog that are bigger and breeds of dog that are smaller. Okay. If it's one of the bigger ones, then yes, it will spread the tumah through its neck into the house, let's say. But if not, then it cannot spread the tumah through that area. Rabbi Yossi Omer, he says, don't look at it like that. Where exactly is the tumah located? Where is its stomach? If you don't look at it as the dog spreading the tumah, it's immaterial where what the diameter is of the dog's neck, or you just look at where the tumah is physically located. If it's physically located from inside the house of Ais Tameh, but outside the mashkof, the house is tahor. Okay, so he appears to be saying that the dog is not an ohel at all. All it is, it's just tuma bakas v'la bakas v'yoredis. Okay. Rabbi Elazar Omer, piv lifnim habayis tahor, piv lachutz habayis tameh. So Rabbi Elazar looks at the dog as if it's a closed kli. Okay, and it depends where its mouth is. if its mouth is inwards, and that's where the tumah is going to escape, because so the tumah wants to get out, says Rabbi Elazar. So if
So
the mouth,
it's like lying backwards. His back feet is outside.
the back feet are
And his
outside and the mouth is
inside.
inside. Right? So if the mouth is inside, then the house is tahor. Pivla chutz abayis tameh. But if its mouth is outside and its anus is inside, then the house is tameh. She'atuma yotzeis derech shulav, because
Right.
the tumah is going to ultimately, where's the tumah going to go out? It's going to go out to the dog's anus.
Right.
Okay, and therefore take a look at where the tumah is going to escape from, and that's how you judge where the tumah is going. Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseir Omer ben kacha bais tameh. He says no. The dog it doesn't only have one exit for the tumah, because the dog could also vomit it, right? Because so either end of the dog is going to make the house tameh, abayis tameh. Okay, so kama tishea b'me'av. So how long is corpse flesh considered tameh inside a dog? So that if the dog dies within X amount of time of eating the corpse flesh, do we have to be concerned about tumah? Okay, and the Mishnah says shlosha yamim me'es la'es, 3 24-hour periods, 72 hours from when the dog ate it. Why? Because there's a drasha on this. Okay, because the Gemara says that dogs find it hard to find food, and in order to have rachamim on the dogs, so therefore Hashem lets their food stay inside them for 3 days, so that they feel full for 3 days. Okay, so we give dogs a 3-day period. Okay, what about other creatures? Let's say that you're talking about a bird or a fish. But office of a dagim kadesh tipul la'ur v'tisarif. How long long enough that if it would fall into a fire and be burned. In other words, if the tumah that it ate fell into a fire and it was burned, that's how long the tumah is still effective inside the intestines of some other creature. Divrei Rabbi Shimon. So that's the Rabbi Shimon's opinion. Again, Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira speaks up here in our Mishnah. Second time he's quoted. He says, "Ba'ofas of a dagim ma'es la'es." He says, no, it's a 24-hour period. Okay, and the halacha follows Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira.
Okay.
Test daled.
Test daled. If the hive is 1 hand breadth above the ground and there is tumah below it or inside the house, whatever is below the hive or inside the house becomes tameh, but whatever is inside or above the hive remains tahor. If the tumah is inside the hive, only that which is inside becomes tameh. If the tumah is above the hive, utensils directly above it up to the sky become tameh. In what case does this apply? When the hive's mouth is outdoors. However, if the mouth is inside the house and an olive-sized piece of corpse is located outdoors, either below or above the hive, any utensil that is directly above or below the olive piece size or anything inside the hive becomes tameh. Anything that is not directly below or above the olive-sized piece or whatever is inside the hive and the house being tahor. If the piece of corpse is located inside either the hive or the house, and everything becomes tameh. If the hide, if the hide is located 1 hand breadth above the ground and there is tumah below the hive inside the house, or above the hive, everything becomes tameh. In what case?
That was Vav you just finished, right?
Right.
Okay,
that's
so
it.
Yeah. Okay, Caleb.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Regarding hides of a household, thought renders them tameh, but regarding hides of a tanner, thought does not render them tameh. Regarding hides of a thief, those thought renders them tameh, but regarding hides of a robber, thought does not render them tameh. Reb Shimon says the opposite. Regarding the hides of a robber, thought renders them tameh, but regarding hides of a thief, thought does not render them tameh, since the owners have not been spared. But they don't talk about Reb Shimon doesn't talk about the tanner, the tanner at all. He skips that. So it probably just remains it remains the same. Okay. Regarding a hide that is tamei midras and one decided to use it for straps or for sandals, as soon as he applies the knife to it, it is tahu. These are the words of Rabbi Yehuda. But the sages say until he reduces it to no less than 5 handbreadths. Elazar, the son of the Tzaddik, says even if one makes a napkin from a hide, it remains tamei, but not from a mattress, it is tahu. Cloth can contract tuma in 5 categories. Sack can contract tuma in 4 categories. Hide can contract tuma in 3 categories. Wood can contract tuma in 2 categories. And earthenware can contract tuma in 1 category. Earthenware is acceptable to tuma as a receptacle, and any earthenware utensil that has no interior has no exterior. Wood exceeds earthenware, and that wood is subject to tuma as a seat. Similarly, regarding a tray that has no rim, if a wooden utensil is susceptible to tuma, but if it's an earthenware utensil, it's tahu. Hide exceeds wood in that hide is subject to roof tuma, and sack exceeds hide in that sack is subject to tuma in a woven article. Cloth exceeds sack in that cloth is subject to tuma when it measures 3 finger breadths by 3 finger breadths. Okay.
Good.
Right. Tamid. Base. They came and stood on the steps of the antechamber. The first one stood to the south of their fellow Kohanim, and there were 5 vessels in their hands, the basket in the hand of one, and the jug in the hand of one, and the shovel in the hand of one, and the spoon in the hand of one, and the ladle and the spoon covers in the hand of one. And they blessed the nation with one blessing, except that in the provinces the Kohanim pronounced it as 3 blessings, whereas in the temple they pronounced it as 1. In the temple, the Kohanim would pronounce the name of God as it is written, but in the Proverbs they use an alternative pronunciation. In the provinces, the Kohanim raise their palms with their hands that show the height, where in the temple they raise their hands above their heads, except for the Kohen Gadol, who does not raise his hands above the sits. Rabbi Yehuda says even the Kohen Gadol raises his hands above the sits, but it's stated, and Aaron raised his hands toward the people, and he blessed them. When the Kohen Gadol wishes to burn the limbs of the Talmud, he would descend the ramp, and the deputy was to his right. When the Kohen Gadol reached the midpoint of the ramp, the deputy took the hold of his right hand and helped him ascend. And the first Kohen handed to the Kohen Gadol the head and the leg. The Kohen Gadol leaned on them and threw them. The second Kohen handed the 4 legs to the first Kohen. The first Kohen gives them to the Kohen Gadol, and the Kohen Gadol leaned on them and threw them. The second Kohen Gadol slipped away and departed. And in this manner they would hand the Kohen Gadol all the remaining limbs, and he would lean on them and throw them. And when the Kohen Gadol wishes, he leans and throws them. A Kohen Gadol comes in to circle the altar. From where does he begin? From the southeast corner. From them to the northeast, to the northwest, and to the southwest. Okay. They gave the Kohen Gadol wine to offer the deputy. The deputy would be standing on the horn with the flags in his hands, and 2 Kohanim would stand on the table of the fats with 2 trumpets of silver in their hands. They sounded a tekiah to a tekiah. They came and stood next to Ben Azza, right, one to his right and one to the left. The Kohen Gadol bent down and to pour the wine, and the deputy waved the flags, and Ben Zara raised cymbals. And the Levium chanted the song. When they arrived at the end of the stanza, they sounded tekiah, and the people prostrated themselves. And at every stanza tekiah, and at every tekiah prostration. This is the order of the Talmud for the service of the house of the Lord. May it be His will that it be rebuilt speedily in our days. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. And we have one more. The song that the one thing I want to say, I never understood this thing about throwing the limbs, because it seems like it's not a nice thing to do. You're putting something on the altar and they like throwing a baseball or something. I never.
Perspective. Big fire over there.
That's true, I guess.
Over and put it on nicely.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. That's true. The song that Levium would recite in the temple. On the first day, it would say, Hashem is the earth and its fullness, the inhabited land, and those who dwell within it. On the second day, they would say, Great is Hashem, and much praise in the city of our God, mount of his holiness. On the third day, they would say, God stands in the divine assembly. In the midst of judges shall he judge. On the fourth day, they would say, God of vengeance, Hashem, O God of vengeance, appear. On the fifth day, they would say, Sing joyously to the God of our might, call out to the God of Yaakov. On the sixth day, they would say, Hashem will have reigned, he will have done his grandeur. On the Sabbath, they would say a song, a hymn for the Sabbath day, and a song, a hymn for the funeral era, for the future era, for a day that is entirely a Sabbath, a day of rest leading to everlasting life.
Hajanallah Maseches Tamid, and tomorrow's Midos.
I like Tamid. I enjoy doing Tamid.
Good. Okay.
I just lost my place. I took the tissue out. It's Aleph. Let me see.
Aleph Vav.
Aleph Vav. Okay. Here we go. Okay. In a place in which the custom to sell small livestock to idolaters is permitted to sell them. In a place in which it is the custom not to sell, it's not permitted to sell. But in every place it is forbidden to sell them livestock, calves or foals, whether whole or maimed. Rabbi Yehuda permits in the case of a maimed one, and Ben Becerra permits in the case of a horse. One may not sell them bears or lions or anything that is in it. The potential to cause injury to the public. One may not build with them a basilica, a scaffold, or a stadium, or a platform, but one may build with them bismayos and bathhouses. And when they reach the vault in which they place an idol, it is forbidden to build. One may not make ornaments for an idol, such as necklaces, earrings, or finger rings. But Eliezer says for payment, it is permitted. And one may not sell them anything attached to the ground, but one may sell it when it is cut. Maybe Yehuda says he may sell it to him on the condition that it be cut, and one may not rent them houses in Eretz Israel, and it is needless to mention fields. In Syria, one may rent them houses, but not in fields. And outside of Eretz Israel, one may sell them houses and rent them fields. These are the words of Rav Meir. And Yossi says in Eretz Israel, one may rent them houses, but not fields. In Syria, one may sell them houses and rent them fields, and outside of Eretz Israel, one may sell them both these and those. Okay. I'm sorry, what are we starting tomorrow?
Midos.
Midos, that's right, Midos. Okay, Midos.
Chagiga.
Yeah. Dalet. The stringency of Truma is as follows. In Judea, the Amaretz are believed concerning the tahara of wine and oil throughout the year and during the wine pressing and olive pressing seasons. The Amaretz are believed even concerning Truma. If the wine pressing and the olive pressing seasons are past and they then brought them a barrel of wine of Truma, he should not accept it from them, but he may set it aside for the next wine pressing season. However, if he told them, within it I have separated a fourth of a log of Kodesh, he was believed. Concerning jugs of wine, or jugs of oil that are still mingled, they are believed about them during the wine pressing and the olive pressing season, and even for 70 days prior to the wine pressing season. From Modin onward, they are believed concerning earthenware vessels. From Modin outward, they are not believed. How so? If the product selling the pots came inward of Modin, regarding the very pot of the very pots and the very purchases, he is believed. But if he left, he's not believed. The collectors who entered the house and likewise thieves who returned utensils they had stolen are believed to say, we did not touch them. In Yerushalayim, they are believed concerning Kodesh the entire year. During the festival season, they are believed even concerning Truma.
Okay. So we're going to finish this tomorrow and start Yevamos.
Midos and Yevamos. And we are now in Kalayim. Okay. Dalet. If one causes a fire, right?
I'm Hey. I'm a Rabbi
Hey.
Yossi. Yeah.
Rabbi Yossi says it once happened that a man sowed his vineyard in the sabbatical year, and the matter came before Rabbi Kiva and said, one does not render forbidden something that is not his. If a violent intruder sowed a vineyard and it recovered from him, and he cuts it down, even in the day of the festival. How much must he pay the laborers? Up to a third. More than this, he cuts it as usual, even after the festival. And from when on is he called a violent murderer? From the time he is forgotten. If the wind blew over the grain, he must immediately make a fence. If a mishap befell him, is permitted. But if one's grain bent under a vine, also vegetables, he turns it back and does not render forbidden. When does grain become forbidden? When it strikes root. Any grapes, when they become as large as white beans, grain is to become fully dried, or grapes that have ripened fully are not rendered forbidden. And let me just see if we, I think we're going to finish. No, we're not. Okay, I'm good. Okay.
Okay.
We have Midos tomorrow and something
Vamos.
else. I'm sorry?
Vamos.
Vamos. Okay. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.